Dude, I got on the scale, on your scale in the bathroom. The first time I ever got on a scale.
Were you heavy?
Nope.
Dude,
I mean, we just finished a 5-hour ride.
Okay, because it was reading heavy this morning for both of us, and I think because the floor was all fogged.
If I'm heavy, then that was good. You know, well, what do you think I was?
I don't know, 144?
139.6.
139. I've been right around 140. Yeah, we're close.
I haven't been on a scale in a year and a half.
You weigh yourself every day?
Nope.
You just use the mirror scale. I can see more ribs. We're looking good.
I wait till I see some European and they grab me by the skin. Welcome back. This is sacrilegious, but we're doing a cool down pre-Leadville.
And what do we call that, Alexey?
The warm-up.
The warm-up.
Welcome to the warm-up on the cool down. Yeah, we've been riding for 2 days. We wanted to just chat through how the course is looking for Leadville 2025, bikes, tires, suspension setups, weird setups, everything in between.
And all the nerd stuff.
Yeah, and how Keegan's going to take your, what, 5th win in a row? 4th win?
It's not, don't be talking this way.
I know, you gotta like to psych you out a little bit. See, now you're thinking about it already.
Think about it all the time.
Keegan's trying to get his 17th win at Leadville.
17. Dude, I hope I'm not racing about 17 more years.
Where do we start? Course?
Course. Yeah. Course is going good. It's a little rockier in a few places, I think, from the rain, but the dirt's in really good shape. There's not a whole lot of ruts. Power lines overall, I'd say it's going quite good. A few puddles. But yeah, I think those doing the stage race are in for some pretty fast days the next few days.
Yeah. No, I feel like I always, every time I get out to Leadville course before the race, you always feel like, it's a little rockier, a little chunkier, but it gets so smoothed out after stage race and everyone riding it, pre-riding.
Yeah, all the lines get grouped in nice.
Yeah, it has been prime conditions the last 2 days.
Yeah, it's been very nice.
We've been ripping. Yeah, I mean, I think, so course conditions, my favorite quote of the weekend so far was, we're getting old, that's why I'm on a dually.
Yeah, the dually's been really nice. A lot of things happen when you get old. But yeah, one of them, the dually becomes nicer and more appealing, you know, it gets soft and but all joke aside, I think the dually's pretty sweet out there. I don't, sometimes I wonder, I was like, why am I riding the hardtail the last 4 years here?
Yeah, so how is it, like, let's start, was your first Leadville, 2021?
Yes.
Yeah, so from there, what was the mindset, right? When I came in, that was one of my first real mountain bike races after kind of the epic ride stuff that I had dabbled in. And it was the lightest possible, the smallest tires.
Yeah.
You know, the hardtail for sure.
Hardtail, 2.2s. Basically just got that thing as light as possible. I think I ran a 36 tooth chainring. It was scary. And every year the chainring gets sometimes a little bit bigger. Tires have gotten bigger. Although now the dually, maybe I'm going back to smaller tires.
Yep.
Still kind of on the fence about that. But yeah, it's funny how that kind of changes, you know, because you're like, oh, Leadville is just climbing. But there's also a lot of descending and there's a lot of flats. And now there's that new bumpy grass that everyone loves so much. That's like my favorite section of the whole course. So
that's pretty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of Leadville? If we could go back to the road, that'd be amazing. Like this grass is not great. So
especially when you're chasing the flat tire.
Yeah, not good, as we both know.
Yeah. So I guess leading into bike setups, you've been screwing with my head. I've called you the salesman of drop bars currently today for me. I'm still very undecided. Honestly, what I've come to is like, I feel like I want to be on flat bars and maybe a full suspension, but also riding side by side with you, it's not very much fun.
I know you're doing puppy paws. I'm like, he's still probably doing more watts than me.
It was close. I was looking over. I think it was most of the time just side by side when I was like, it was around 10 watts difference.
If you were up on the tops.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it like, I mean, that adds up. 10 watts all day.
10 watts is a lot.
Yeah. Talk about all the marginal gains we talk about with wax chains and pulley wheels and
fast tires, whatever. And
aero helmets.
Yeah.
How did you come to the bike you're on? What are you racing? What are you thinking of racing?
Yeah, so, last year I was on the highball, which is the hardtail, drop bars, 2.4s, around the 42 tooth chainring.
Crazy. Anyone who's never done Leadville, 42 tooth chainring up Columbine is batshit. You'll cry.
Yeah. Yeah, Alexey, what are you doing? Letting it hang out? Yeah, so, and I think I've just after, you know, riding some bigger tires on gravel and using the fork more on gravel, I was like, maybe I should try the full suspension at Leadville. Like maybe that's a similar thing. And just to try something new, you know, and I put drop bars on it, of course, because I was happy with them last year. Like them. Took a little bit of tinkering because this full suspension's got a little different geo. So took some time to dial in the fit on that, but got it pretty much identical to the hardtail now. So quite happy with that. So yeah, I'm gonna run the drop bars on it. What are they? The 37-42 bar, so pretty narrow. Same bar I use on the road, gravel, all across. It's nice to keep things consistent. I don't like change, as I've said around the hardtail here the last how many years. So
Yeah.
a lot of stubbornness to move to the dually, but I was like, maybe it's better. So after riding it the past couple of days, I think I'm pretty happy. That said, like hardtail's still not a bad bike.
No.
You know, like going at the bottom of Columbine, I'm like, the hardtail like wouldn't suck here. But then, you know, you go across some of the rough, flat stuff, and the dually's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on riding the hardtail drop bar all weekend that I'd built up, and after riding yesterday, coming down Sugarloaf, I was like, I have to figure out if I want to ride my dually.
Yeah.
So
when you were fast on the drop bars, like you kept
it wasn't bad.
You know,
I think you're selling drop bars to me, but I would admit it. We were cooking for a minute, so the one person who can get through. Yeah, so I guess my question, let's preface for everybody else who wants to put drop bars on their bike. Maybe you shouldn't. Not everybody needs to have drop bars now.
Yeah, I really don't think they're really for anyone except the professional men.
When you're racing for 6 hours, 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah, and you're really like trying to like optimize the gains. And I think most people probably will lose more time descending on them because they're scared and they're not as comfortable. And it also takes a lot of time to get the fit right on those things. And if the fit's not right, your back's going to go bad, your arms and your shoulders. And I mean, before I ran the drop bars, I tried to do it for 2023 and just couldn't get it right. So I just ended up defaulting back to flat bars and then tinkered with it for like basically a whole year before I finally got it to where I wanted. And it's, sometimes you think you have it right, but you go do like a 5-hour ride and your back is just smoked and you're like, this isn't right, you know? So I think you can't just throw drop bars on a mountain bike and expect it to work. Like most of us run very long stems on our mountain bikes with flat bars. So then it makes it easier to put the drop bars on because you get the reach. Yep. But it's not just like a one-to-one thing. And I think, so I guess all that said, I don't really recommend drop bars for anyone unless you're like racing at the sharp end of the men's or women's race, you know. Like I've convinced Sophia to put them on her bike and I think she's happy with them. She hasn't gotten mad at me yet, so.
I think that's my favorite part of watching you and Sophia like work and tinker together. I love that. I have Sophie. She's like, do you want to go for a swim? And I was like, no.
No, I can't swim.
I can't. I'll drown.
Sometimes Sophia talks me out of things, you know, like maybe I should run the 44.
Very healthy.
She's like, no, you're stupid.
Sophia's a lot smarter than you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess we want to get into training a little bit. Obviously, I think we all have little secrets we like to keep to ourselves, but do you go to altitude? You obviously, I think we live in similar places. You're around 6,000 feet.
Yeah.
Do you go up from there? Obviously, we're in Leadville right now doing some training. How early do you come up for the race? I think it's different for everybody. Some people try to come in late after doing an altitude camp. Some people want to spend as much time as they can here.
Yeah.
It's hard to train at 10,000 feet.
It is. I don't think I'd want to you couldn't exist here for that long. That said, I do think it's good to get some training up here, to get a feel for like the sensations of how it feels to not have any air and, you know, get used to that feeling and kind of know
a lot of suffering,
how to push and where to not push so much. And so I think it's pretty important. But yeah, you know, like you said, I think we're fortunate enough to live at altitude for the most part. So we come home from Unbound and we're straight to altitude.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I live at 6,000 feet, give or take, Midway, and all the training is pretty much up. I can go down a little bit to like Salt Lake, bottom of the canyons for like hard efforts or whatever, but most of the training's around 6 to 8. And, you know, still do some efforts up high, just like it is like we are here. So like do some efforts over Guardsman Pass or whatever, which is, you know, 9,000 feet.
Yep.
And then, you know, we always come up here, whether it's, whether this Sophia's doing a stage race or not, we've come up here the last few years and done a little camp here. And it's nice to test equipment, tires, bikes, drop bars, chain rings, whatever, and just like get a feel for the course and see how it's running, as well as just like getting some time up high.
Yeah.
And then so we'll spend, you know, we're here for like 5 days, whatever it is, and then go back down to Utah for a week. Yep. And then I'll come back up here next like Sunday or Monday.
Yep.
I like to get up here kind of early, although most people don't really like that, but
Yeah.
for me it works. And like training load is so low the week before the race that I think
do much.
I just like to be here and like get settled in, and I mean it works for me, and I know I've done enough times that I know it's fine. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think altitude for me, growing up in Michigan and having to learn altitude, and I feel like it took me, honestly, probably a year and a half to feel really normal in Boulder. Like, I could ride, but I'd be like, oh, heart rate's like a little bit high. It took me a long time to feel normal. But altitude, like, why I tell people to go high or go to the race that you're going to be at, more than even doing a camp, is just know where your red line is. Because the minute you go over that, everything starts to drop. Right?
Don't really
Training
come
value
back very
drops.
quick.
No, everything struggles. You can't do back-to-back days. You can't do this. And so I think there's all the scientific data of how many altitude camps, how many days before, or how early you should come in. It's so personal. I think people like to pretend like something is written in stone, and we're all different, right?
And if you, like you said, like I was born and grew up at altitude, so for me it's different than it is for you. Even though you live at altitude now and that's your home, it's like it's still gonna affect us differently, you know.
100%.
And then there's the other factors of like nutrition and hydration. Like you gotta know like how much to drink. You gotta really like, you know, like today we stopped to pee like 5 times because I'm just like obsessively hydrated.
Well, I was impressed you drank. I drank a liter before we left.
Yeah.
8 a.m.
Just panic, just cameling, you know.
I was impressed. Yeah.
So
It's
always
true.
trying to be on top of it. You gotta figure out what works and know how much to drink, and then you gotta pay attention to nutrition because you're just like burning more calories up here just existing. And like you don't want to come up here a week early or 2 weeks early if you sleep bad and you can't sleep.
Yep.
So yeah, know if you sleep well at altitude or not. I feel like I sleep better up here, so I don't. That's why I like being here as well. So
yeah. What is I think Leadville, I always talk about Leadville to people that it's a pretty simple race for us as pros, just in terms of it's out and back course. We've all ridden the entire course multiple times. Feed zones are very simple. What does that look like for you on the day?
Yeah, I mean,
like do you stop at every feed zone? You're grabbing one bottle, grabbing a feed bag.
It's nice having a race that has lots of feed zones, you know.
Nice.
Compared to our last Cooldown, we were talking about races without feed zones. So it's nice to you start with maybe, I think sometimes I start with 1 bottle, sometimes I start with 1.5, depends on the temperature. Then pick up a bottle, and then the whole rest of the race, I think there's just 1 bottle on my bike the whole time.
Yep.
You grab some gels, and it's pretty straightforward. You get wheels in the pits.
Yep.
And then tactically, it's like a relatively straightforward race too.
Yep.
You know, like there's a little bit of tactics. For the most part, the tactic is with yourself and how hard you can push.
Yep.
And if you're willing to gamble to push a little more to make a certain group or, whatever else, which I think becomes a big factor in the amateur races as well, is like people are like pushing above their limit to make a certain group, which might be worth it sometimes, and sometimes it might not be worth it, because if you're really like you said earlier, if you push too hard, you never come back. Yep. But also, if you miss the train and you're riding alone into the wind, you're also just going to bleed time. So you kind of have to find this balance of like, maybe it's worth going into red line a little, but you don't want to do it too much.
And I think that's, for listening to you talk about that, that's what's interesting to me, is because when I go into Leadville, my entire focus is get down power line with the big boys. Yeah. That's it. That's my entire focus from the beginning. I'm not worried about climbing Keevans. I'm not worried about climbing Sugarloaf. It's get down power line with the big boys and the race starts.
Because if you can lose minutes down power line.
Exactly. And the match is spent to catch back up. And I've done it in past years. Not just going to catch back up by pipeline, which you can do with a good group. It's not worth it, right?
Not easy though.
Gone.
Like we did last year, like we both flatted. I had to chase and caught the group back by the pipeline aid station and like was pretty clapped for a while,
So I guess in that, so from my side, when I come in, race kind of truly starts on Columbine. I mean, that's where the separation is had. That's where you start to see guys kind of come apart who've been faking it. What is that for you, obviously? And this is one of the, another year where we're coming into it and, every year you've ridden away there. Is that stressful for you to be solo the entire way back? You kind of said today that the hardest part for you is from the bottom of Columbine back to pipeline.
Yeah, it's the hardest part, but I also kind of look forward to it. Yeah. Like it's peaceful.
You're looking at the surroundings, like, oh, beautiful mountains.
Looking at the mountains. And you just do your thing, you just lock in and ride. And I think, because on the way out, last year there was a smaller group of us, Lockie and John.
Yep.
Lockie and I both flatted down power line, and John was left alone. And I was like pretty excited because I was like, oh, this is perfect. There's 3 of us. We can just rotate. It'll be nice and easy. Because in that group, it just ends up, a lot of people sit on. There's people riding, and it doesn't, there's no flow. No one will work. It doesn't work. So I think it's nice to just have that peaceful. Like I love just locking in and doing my effort. I know what I have to do. I know what I can do. You just ride the limit, and it's hard, but it's also a part, like I always look forward to that. So it's...
God, you're fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
You got some problems up there.
Yeah. You got to fight them out there on course, you know?
Goodness.
But yeah, then you're not dealing with anything. You're just riding, racing.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no one sitting on, there's no games, and it's just you against yourself. And even if, you know, the group's small, it's the same. It's not much different. Like the first year I did Leadville, it was Lockie, Howie, and I on the way back, and that was nice. We just rode the whole way, just hard pulls, you know. And there was no games. No one's trying to sit on, and it's because like you gotta get to the bottom of then the race starts again at the bottom of power line. Like you said, the race starts at Columbine, and then the race really starts again bottom of power line. Even if you're alone, that's still the race because you gotta make it up and over that with enough left in the tank to make it back home.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Howie, because that was the changing of the guard that year. Howie had been dominant here.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy to think back. I guess, what do you want to finish off? Best advice for someone kicking on Leadville? Like, is it pacing? Is it eating? Is it coming up here?
I think it's pacing and eating.
Knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself. I think all that, like you said, spending some time up here or wherever you are, if you can find altitude that's similar, just to get some time and kind of figure out what you can. Because also sometimes I think your gut doesn't always react the same. So if you can take in 120 grams at sea level, doesn't necessarily mean you can take in 120 grams at 10,000 feet or 3,000 meters, whatever it is. So,
dude, the tour pros are 180 grams, people say.
So they say.
That's what Cycling Weekly says, man.
Yeah, that's the new thing, dude. So yeah, come up here, put down 200 grams an hour, you'll be fine. Just shovel it in.
Just keep eating.
Just keep eating. I don't know. What are you in this side on for bike? You're heated and hot.
Yeah, I am the bike guy. I'm still in between. I mean, I think like
you learned today you want to run big tires though.
Yeah, I obliterated my rear tire today. Kind of having fun. I think I'm gonna end up on 2.4s for sure. I'm definitely still undecided on drop bars. Definitely a little harder as a Fox Shimano athlete to make it happen. Flight attendant makes this suspension pretty
super easy.
It's just playing games. How much you want to MacGyver it, right? You help me out with a couple of friends who have set that bike up, and you can do it. It just if I run a full suspension, I definitely want to lock it out. Otherwise, the full suspension is useless. So it's about finding that line. Part of me wants to be on a hardtail still. I enjoy playing to my strengths rather than my weaknesses. I think I'll be on a dropper no matter what. That's something that allows me to be within striking distance of any of the guys I'm racing.
Yeah, you're not gonna lose any time on a descent because anyone who's a better descender than you is gonna be on a high post.
Yeah, and I've been surprised by that, right? I mean, I've been in groups not with you, but with Howie or with Braden, Cole, John Gaston, right? Where it's like they're all better descenders than me on paper. But I'm always surprised when we're halfway down Columbine. I'm like, wait, why are we still here all together? What are you guys doing?
Think you maybe lock in and focus more on the descents, and 100%. These guys are just like checked out trying to recover. Whereas you're like, this is the race.
This is my focus.
This is your focus, and it works for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you're keeping up. You're a mountain biker now, whether you admit it or not.
Slowly but surely. But yeah, I mean, I think bars are gonna be the hardest question for me. I mean, I think there's no question that side by side, us riding all day, drop bars are faster. That being said, you got to be alone for it to matter, and I don't know if I'm gonna be alone.
Never know.
And that's the dog. I'd love so much to be within striking distance of you on top of Columbine and catch you on the descent, which isn't going to happen, but it's in my dreams.
I mean, what if you're in a group of like two other guys and you're the only one with flat bars? Does that worry you? Like if you're with like Braden and Russell on the way back, for example, we're both going to be on drop bars. Does that like?
I mean, no, I'm not going to call Braden and Russell out, but I have never been with any group on the way home that is cohesively working.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
The race is going to go back down to power line. Everyone's going to wait and race for second at that point. And that's, I think, part of my thinking is if I'm not on your wheel descending Columbine, which history says it hasn't happened, then the best choice for me is flat bars.
Go all in on power line.
Yes. And just try to obliterate people. That being said, right, I never go into a race thinking I'm going to finish second, even if it's happened, right? That I want to race, we talked about this before, also just riding. I don't want to race for Grand Prix points. I want to race for the race.
That's right.
And so that means like knowing there's a faster option, it's hard to know. Like if I was TTing by myself, the drop bars are the better option. It's just everyone's getting faster. It will be a group at some point. And I don't believe I'm going to be solo for that much of the race.
Right.
Based on past experience. So I think I'm going to try to play around. Definitely going to get a shorter stem on my drop bar bike. You talked about your back hurting, my neck. Wow.
I can tell. Alexey, that's a long stem to have on a drop bar bike.
And I ride with Willie all the time. Yeah. So I'm glad I came up here. Figure it out. Feel good. But But
you can keep up on it. So
I would, yeah. I mean, again, it's like it's really how it goes. I mean, I think the biggest difference between us riding drop bars was downhill, or was chunky stuff, right? Full suspension versus hardtail.
Right, and that was just
how
blank.
hard we were hitting things. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that's even you were surprised how fast we were going down Sugarloaf that first day. So
yeah.
See, I didn't teach you anything because I'm less decided than I was 5 days ago. I guess just touch on Grand Prix. We're only 2 races in. Pretty crazy. It's almost August.
Yeah.
There's a lot to race for.
Crusher.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned that to you. I was like,
last
I hope
year.
You can come in and be fit for Leadville, but you have to continue. If you're kind of at your peak right now, it's going to be tough.
There's still a lot of racing left.
A lot of racing, and there's not. If you take a break, there's no chance to come back into the season.
No, you can have like a mini break. You get like 2 days.
A couple days.
Yeah.
I guess just one thing. Who do we think pre-Leadville is going to be up there? Beers, right? The big boy.
I think Beers will be a dark horse.
Even though he's big. Yeah.
He's big, but he's an 80-kilo climber.
He has so much power.
It's easy when you make 500 watts. He just.
I don't know why you're helping him. Why are you giving him a house to stay in?
I don't know either.
Oh, just post Leadville.
Post.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I mean, Gaston will be good.
Gaston's always good.
He's such a sleeper.
Impressive. Yeah.
Like the dude does 3 bike races a year, and then comes in podiums at this race almost every time.
Every year. Yeah.
And I think they like a lot of the guys we normally race with, still don't get it. They don't realize how good he is. And you're like, no, his VO2 is probably like 98. He just comes out here and rips with us. So
I think I'll give Braden a dark horse too. He's been riding well this year.
He hasn't been altitude very long though.
That part is for sure.
Because he was in California, then he went to nationals, and now he's at altitude. But it's a little tight.
It is funny how much, at least for me, you also, I think, how much I'm analytical about where people's Stravas are and what they're doing. Oh, you're still down at sea level. That's a questionable choice.
I know. And
are you in an altitude tent? Are you not?
Yeah. And I think the little bit of altitude training works if you're racing at 6 or 7.
Yeah,
you can't just do 3 weeks and expect to perform at 10,000 feet. You need 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that. It's pretty much straight before Steamboat to get into it. Yeah. So, okie dokie. Okay. Do one post Leadville.
Yeah. Good times.
See you later.
Any questions?